6 straight touchdowns, dude.
Yeah.
6 straight touchdown drives by the Saints.
I mean, you're just asking for, it's like I didn't understand Brian Billick. He kept Kyle Boller as his quarterback for the longest time, and Boller's engaged to Billick's daughter.
Nepotism, it kills your team.
Nepotism.
I can hear it. Can you hear it in Marinelli's headphones now? Say, Pop, I think 3-4 will work, huh, Dad? What do you think?
All right. Well, here is Rob Parker asking Marinelli about his son-in-law. He first asked, why don't you fire your son-in-law, the defensive coordinator? And here's how that goes.
Rod, can you fairly evaluate what is your son-in-law and his family? Can you fairly evaluate? Is there no way or circumstance you would fire him because he is your son-in-law?
No.
Does that have anything to do with it?
No.
But it doesn't make sense.
I've worked with with all these guys for years, and I know what they're about. I've worked with them in good times and bad times, and I know what we can produce, and we haven't done it.
On a light note, seriously, do you wish your daughter would have married a better defensive coordinator?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Do you wish your daughter would have married a better defensive coordinator? And he just on to the next person. He wasn't even going to deal with it.
Marinelli's face looked like he really wanted to stick the dude in the mouth.
Oh,
but
my God.
I'll give him this. The man's got class.
Yeah.
He's weathered all of this with nothing but class. I mean, he's a horrible coach. He shouldn't be in where he is. He's got no business being a coach in the NFL or at a head coach position. I'm sure he's a great defensive line coach, but he really has handled all this about as best as he could.
Yeah, he wasn't even going to dignify it with a response.
Well, you know what, though? It's a fair question. I mean, it's not a fair question to ask, did your daughter screw this one up, but it's a fair question to think, why aren't you firing this completely incompetent guy?
And I don't think anybody had a problem with that question. It was, though, do you wish your daughter would have married a better defensive coordinator was the one that got
Hey, I've known these guys for years and years and years, for good times, bad times. I remember when he told me he was just going out for some coffee and he was actually boinking my daughter, and that's how they got, knocked up, and that's how come he's my son-in-law now.
Well, he wasn't. He was not going to respond. He was, he was.
I won't go in your tank. If you got a tank and you're in the tank, I will not join you.
That was it.
That's right. You're down in the insult the family tank. I'm not going down there. Well, today we'll get to the next part.
Yeah, hold on. Let's get reaction to that first from the Fox guys on the post game show.
Terry Sphincter with reaction, Tom.
Yeah, Terry Bradshaw is just going to have a fit here.
First of all, your impressions of that, and did he go over the line with that last question about asking if your daughter should have married a better guy?
Rod, you're an idiot. You're just a flat idiot. Why you want to pursue a guy like Rod and pursue him on something after going 0-15? You have disgraced your profession, my friend, and they ought to kick your butt out of that locker room. You are a total idiot.
No, they should kick his butt out of the newspaper, period. It shouldn't be reporters, it should be ex-reporters. That's unnecessary. They're 0-15, they lost. Being his son-in-law had nothing to do with the record.
Right. But I don't think anybody ever thought that him being his son-in-law had anything to do with them being 0-15.
You are a disgrace to your profession, young man. You should be ashamed of yourself. Fucking Terry Bradshaw. The last word in lonesome is me. Hear that lonesome whippoorwill.
Parker, you're an idiot and you should be fired.
Hear that lonesome whippoorwill.
Oh, Lord.
You should be ashamed of yourself. And Jimmy Johnson's over there.
Yeah.
Right. Show's ridiculous.
He's terrible.
He's terrible.
He's terrible.
Right.
He's terrible, right? Oh, hell, Rod Marinelli. He's terrible.
All right. Now, Rob Parker was on ESPN2's First Take today, because he's on that show all the time with Skip Bayless.
Yeah, he's created a firestorm now. So.
Oh, well, they had to let him come on and tell his side of the story. Is what this was all about, because he's a First Take guy.
His side of the story is displayed on the field every Sunday.
They had to let him try to smooth things over, and apparently he didn't do a very good job. But this is what he had to say about it.
I want to publicly apologize to Rod and his family if people really thought I was being mean-spirited and trying to embarrass his family in that way. That was not the intent. It was a chance at levity where there was an intense exchange, and I was trying to lighten the mood later on in the press conference. So I want to just say that up front.
And I read your column today, Rob, and you make it seem like you and Rod Marinelli are on still pretty good terms. Is that true?
To this point, Rod didn't get angry
even after what you said
yesterday. Yes, I mean, after the press conference, I went up to the podium, and Rod tapped me on my leg and said, "See you tomorrow." And I also talk about he came up with a nickname for me that he used around the other beat writers, where he called me Gloomy Gus. And he told me about it, and I laughed about it, and I thought it was funny because of the type of questions that I'm always asking. And I never took it personally. I wasn't hurt or offended that he came up with a nickname behind my back. I took it as something he was trying to be funny and cute. And I was trying to be funny, and a lot of people didn't think it was funny.
Wait a minute. He's trying to equate talking about how his daughter screwed up and married an idiot by having himself called a Gloomy Gus.
Well, now, see, you're twisting it. I think that's twisting it.
A Gloomy Gus guy. He made up a nickname behind my back, Gloomy Gus.
Well, I work with a Lions fan, and his response to me today was, "Rob Parker's my hero."
Oh, of course. Of course. Well, frankly, I think Rob Parker's trying to be, it's one of those things where, like, if I accidentally punch you dead in the face and say, "Oh man, I was just joking."
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's wrong. He should have just apologized and said, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have gone there. My fault." But trying to sit here and pass it off as he was just trying to bring in some levity.
That sounds like,
yeah, okay, right.
He went like shock jock on him, you know. He gets his name out there. That's what sells newspapers, though.
Hey, Michael Richards was just trying to bring in some levity when those colored fellas were picking on him in the club, right?
Did you just say colored?
Yes, I did. I don't want to get in trouble. It's Christmas, you know.
Does anybody actually say colored anymore?
No, I said it on purpose.
Oh, okay. All right. You know, you got anything else on that whole mess? It's just
on Marinelli?
Yeah.
No. Do you think he can win next week against the Packers?
No,
I don't either. He's going to do it. 0-16. I tell you what, he is getting more press today than anybody. The Giants had a great game last night, rushed for 300 yards or whatever. A ridiculous amount of yardage. And today it's all about Rod Marinelli.
Hey, we found Rod Marinelli before the rest of the country did, though.
That's right, because we look at the bottom of the standings first.
Right.
That's where we find our fun.
Let's go back and play another clip here from a show we did back in August. You know, back in August, John, the kids were all getting ready to go back to school, buying new backpacks and lunch boxes and notebooks and erasers. And, you know, Ray Lewis went back to school.
Yeah, I remember.
Yes. So here it is from August of this year. Ray goes back to school.
What time is it? What time is it? Ain't adults in the house? Ain't adults in the house? What time is it? What time is it? Ain't adults in the house? Ain't adults in the house?
Oh,
it's time
so
for me to do a contrived dance, corny dance that everybody's tired of.
Ray goes back to school.
Yeah, Ray. In Baltimore, they brought Ray to an elementary school to pass out book bags to all the kids, right? They give them backpacks. I guess it encourages them to go to school and not fill them up with crack and shit.
So he spoke to the children,
yes,
to the students there in the school, and
he gave a nice, rousing talk.
This is what Ray Lewis had to say.
Trust me when I tell you this, kids. Go to school to just find out who you really are. That's what education is. That's why we study school. That's why we go to grades, to make good grades. And I can promise you this. The way y'all study in school is the way I'm going to prepare on the field. So if I fail, we all fail. But if we get up every day with the same motivation every day, we can do anything we put our minds to.
All right, you should have seen his eyes, man. I mean, he looked like a crackhead that just got his hit, man. He did. He's pointing at them all.
Let me tell you all this. This what be education all about. So if I fail, we all fail.
I fail, that's right.
He got that from Friday Night Lights.
If I fail, we all fail.
That's what he said. If one of us fails, we all fail.
No, he didn't say if one of us fails. He said if he fails. So I'm sitting there, I'm Johnny 10-year-old. He did. Listen to it. Put it again.
You're right.
So if I fail, we all fail.
Johnny 10-year-old sitting there doing his homework, watching the Ravens. Ray Lewis misses a tackle. Guy scores a touchdown. Johnny says, screw this. I fail.
That's why we study school. That's That's why we go to grades to make good grades.
That's right. That's right. I went to college. I majored in school.
Wait a minute. He goes, that's why we study school.
That's why we study school.
That's why we go to grades to get good grades.
That's right.
That's what he said. Listen.
That's why we study school. That's why we go to grades to make good grades.
That's right. I went to college. I majored in school studies. I studied school. And the way y'all, what did he say? The way y'all go about doing your studies is how I'm going to prepare to be on the field.
Right.